Hi, I'm Cedric from Ratings.com. We are testing today the Samsung KU6300, which is a TV we recommend the most often in that price range. It's a well-rounded TV, especially good for video games. But don't buy this one if you care about HDR. It does support it, but it doesn't really benefit from it. So let's start with the design, and then we will have a look at our test results. The Samsung KU6300 is available in a wide range of sizes, from 40-inch all the way up to 70. We bought the 55-inch, and we don't expect any significant differences between the sizes for that model. The KU6300 looks like a mid-range TV. The design has nothing fancy, and everything is made of plastic, including the borders. It has a center stand, but it is relatively wide, so it may not fit all tables. The thickness is average, but the stand extends quite a bit at the back, so you won't be able to push it completely against the wall. There isn't anything special at the back. The inputs are all located at the same place and facing to the side, which is useful when mounting it to the wall. Note that you'll need to use the included adapters if you have an older component or composite device. Now for the picture quality. The native contrast ratio is excellent. If you've been following our reviews for a while, you have probably noticed by now that there is no real correlation between price and native contrast ratio for LCD TVs, which is why some cheaper TVs like this Samsung KU6300 can beat higher-end models. However, cheaper TVs like this one usually lack a local dimming feature, so while it has good blacks in the dark room, some TVs will be able to beat it with local dimming. The Samsung KU6300 is one of the rare TVs nowadays that is having problems displaying 24p content like movies. It will accept a signal, but each frame won't be displayed with a constant time. We use this pattern to test it, and we take a 1-second explosion picture. As you can see, 1 out of 2 frames stays on the screen longer, which introduces a small judder. So all movies that you will watch on that TV will have that small judder. It's quite small though, so most people won't notice it. For example, all movies watched on a smartphone, tablet, or 60-yard PC monitor has that issue, so you should be fine if you haven't noticed it before. The gray uniformity is average. If you want a better one with less dirty screen effect, you will need to upgrade to the KS8000. As for the motion blur, it is about the same as the KS8000, which is good, but not great. The input lag is very low, even for HDR. So while the motion blur is not the best, it's still a great gaming TV for those who play fast video games like first-person shooters. The viewing angle is a big downside to that TV, and you should not buy it if you have multiple viewing positions. The Sony X700D has much better colors at an angle. It reflects more light than average. The screen finish is more matte than the KS8000, but it does reflect more ambient light, so the picture won't look as vibrant in a bright room. The maximum brightness of the screen is consistent at around 400 nits, which is bright, but not as much as the higher-end TVs, which are better for HDR. The KU6300 can accept an HDR signal, but it won't really benefit from it because it doesn't have a wide color gamut. The range of colors that it can display is about the same as a normal TV. As for the smart features, it uses the same OS as the other Samsung TVs this year, which is good, but not as user-friendly as LG's WebOS. It comes with a smart remote, but you cannot control the pointer with it. We tested 5 different KU series this year. The KU6500 is the same as the KU6300, but with a curve. The KU6600 is the same as the KU6500, but with a different model number, probably to prevent price matching between retailers. The KU7000 adds a wide color gamut, which is useful for HDR, but it doesn't get as bright, so we don't recommend spending more for it. The KU7500 adds a curve. Out of these, the KU6300 is the best value considering the price. Overall, the Samsung KU6300 is a good TV, great contrast ratio, and very low input lag for video games, but it loses color at an angle, and it doesn't really benefit from HDR. In this price range though, it's a great value, and the one we recommend the most if you sit directly in front of the TV. We've now added a Q&A section to our videos to answer popular questions about that TV. So Best Buy has the Samsung KU6290 on sale that is cheaper than the KU6300, and he wants to know what's the difference and which one you should buy. So we haven't tested the KU6290 yet, but we don't expect a difference in picture quality. The only difference that we are aware of is that it doesn't have Bluetooth and it has a standard remote instead of the fancy one. So if you don't care about that, just get the cheaper KU6200. So someone wants to know the input lag in PC mode instead of game mode because he's going to use it for PC usage and PC gaming. So PC mode adds about 15 milliseconds of input lag compared to game mode. So the total is about 35 milliseconds of input lag. But the advantage of using PC mode for a PC is you're going to get sharper text because it supports the full chroma subsampling. For gaming though, it won't really make a big difference. One person wants to know how to calibrate his TV. So you can check all the calibration settings online that we use for testing. But for more simple, for gaming, simply turn on game mode and disable alt processing. For movies, just turn on movie mode, and that's going to do most of the job for the picture quality. One last question. For 4K TVs that do not have the wide color gamut like this one, if everything else is the same, is an HDR TV really worth it compared to a non-HDR? So if everything is the same and the TV doesn't have a wide color gamut, then HDR isn't really worth it because it won't really do anything with the HDR signal. So stick to the cheaper TV instead. So that's it. If you have more questions, feel free to ask them on our website and we might answer them in another video. And thanks for watching.